What's going on, everybody? Lil Chris here, and in today's video I'd like to continue my series of break and runs while wearing my GoPro. And in today's video I have two racks of 9-ball. The first rack is going to be a normal rack of 9-ball with the 1 ball on the foot spot, and the second rack will be with the 9-ball on the foot spot. And when I break with the 9-ball on the foot spot, I will be trying to satisfy the 3-point rule. Now, just like how I've done before, when I play through both of these racks, I will be commentating on what I'm doing, so that way you can see what I do when things go according to plan and see what I do when things don't. So let's give this a try. So here's the first rack, and it's going to be a normal rack with the 1 ball on the foot spot and the 9-ball in the middle. Now, if you've seen my breaking a 9-ball rack 2 ways video, you should already know that I have 2 different ways that I can break that rack. But if you've seen any of my recent live streams, you should now know that I have a 3rd way I can break this rack, which is what I'm going to do. So I start with the position of the cue ball lined up with the point of this corner pocket, and then I move it 2 diamonds up. And then I'm going to hit the 1 ball fairly straight from this angle, and I'm still expecting for the left wing ball, or the 4 ball in this case, to fall into the corner pocket. The 1 ball is going to head down this way past the side pocket and hit this side rail, and then hopefully stop somewhere right around here for this corner pocket. And then with a little topspin on the cue ball, I'm hoping that the cue ball will stop somewhere near the middle of the table so that I can have position on the 1 ball. So as you can see, the 4 ball fell into the corner pocket. I have the cue ball near the middle of the table, and I have the 1 ball pretty much where I expected it to be, so I can shoot it here into the corner pocket. So now, if we look at the rest of the layout of the table, it's looking like the hardest transition that we're going to have is going to be from the 3 ball to the 5 ball. Now the 3 ball can go into the side pocket from this point here. So it's looking like when I play the 2 ball, if I can land somewhere right around here for position on the 3, I can shoot the 3 into the side pocket and have the cue ball follow up here for position on the 5, then the rest of the rack should be solved. For starters, let's play the 1 ball into the corner pocket like we expected. And with a little bit of bottom left spin, let's pull the cue ball towards the middle of the table for position on the 2 to go into this corner pocket. All right, so I'm fairly straight on the 2 ball. I can probably cheat the pocket a little bit, but more than anything, I'm going to want to get position on the 3 like I had talked about, which is like this. So I'm probably going to just put bottom spin on the cue ball and try to draw it back here. Okay, so this looks pretty good here. We're going to play the 3 ball into the side pocket with some topspin and try to push the cue ball up towards the 5 ball. Now I landed straight on the 5 ball. I would have liked to have landed somewhere right around here because then the transition to the 6 ball is easier to come to the side rail and back out. But because I'm straight in on the 5 ball, I'm going to draw the cue ball back to this side rail and have the cue ball come back out for position on the 6 for this corner pocket. Okay, so I have a sharper angle than I would really want, but I can still make the 6-ball into the corner pocket here, and I'm probably going to have to try to draw the cue ball over to the side rail with some right spin to pull the cue ball back for position on the 7-ball. Well, I certainly didn't have enough draw on that cue ball, but we're okay. Now I could just shoot the 7-ball in with topspin, push the cue ball over to the short rail, and back out for position on the 8. And then from the 8-ball, pretty much do the same thing as I did with the 7. I'm going to push the cue ball to the short rail. I'm going to put a touch of left spin on the cue ball to keep the cue ball on the same side so I can shoot the 9-ball into the opposite corner pocket. Okay, so there was the first rack, so now let's try the second rack. Now for the second rack, we're going to use the same pattern as before, but now the 9-ball is on the foot spot. And when we break this time, we are going to try to satisfy the 3-point rule, which means we need to have 3 object balls touch or cross the head string. Now, if I at least pocket a ball or two, then I only need 1 or 2 more balls to be able to touch or cross the head string. Otherwise, it's considered an illegal break. Now, I'm not too familiar with breaking with the 9-ball on the spot, but I do know you can still try to get the wing ball to go into the corner pocket by doing more of a cut break. So with this break here, I'm going to be doing a little bit like the classic break, except I do not want the 1 ball to fall into the side pocket. I still want it to miss, and if it misses over here, then it has a tendency to head its way over towards this corner pocket, which is why I'm going to put bottom left spin on the cue ball to have the cue ball come to the side rail and hopefully come back towards the middle of the table and maybe have position on the 1 ball. As you can see, I was a little unlucky that the 1 ball fell into the side pocket, but I was also lucky that the 2 ball rolled into a spot where I can see it. And I made both the 1 ball and I did make the wing ball into the corner pocket, and I think the 6 and the 8 crossed over, so just because one of them made it, I satisfied the 3-point rule. So now, if I'm going to try to run this table, it looks like the hardest transition is from the 6 to the 7. If I'm able to do that, then I should be able to finish the rest of the rack. But starting with this 2 ball, because of the angle that I have here, it looks like I can cut the 2 ball into the side pocket and have the cue ball come up to the short rail and back out for position on the 3, hopefully for this corner pocket. Okay, now I'm fairly straight on the 3 ball, which is actually really good because I can play a stop shot on the 3 ball that'll give me this kind of an angle to the 5 ball, which allows me to play the cue ball 2 rails to get position on the 6. Now, when I think about the 7 ball, I can play it either in this pocket or this pocket. So depending upon the position that I do get on the 6, that's really going to determine how I manipulate the cue ball to get position on the 7. So let's play the 3 ball into the corner pocket with a little bit of bottom spin just so we can get the cue ball to stop right on contact. Okay, so like I said before, I'm going to have the cue ball go 2 rails to get position on the 6. Now with the angle that I have on the 6, we can see that the cue ball wants to go this way. So I should be able to get it to hit the short rail and then come back up for position on the 7 to go into this corner pocket. I do have a touch of right spin on the cue ball. Oh, did I hit it hard enough? I think I did. I think we're okay. It looks pretty close, but I should be able to cut the 7 ball into the corner pocket and send the cue ball 2 rails for position on the 8. Now from the 8, I can just draw up to the side rail and back out over here for position on the 9 for this corner pocket. And that's going to do it for today's video. Now, as you saw when I broke with the 9 ball on the foot spot, I got a little lucky getting position on that 2 ball because the 1 ball fell on the break. So I'm going to have to practice that one a little bit more. Now, I hope with the commentary and the view of the GoPro, you were able to learn a little bit by seeing how I'm able to run a 9 ball rack when I get a good break. Now, with regards to the view of the GoPro, which version did you actually like better? Because in rack 1, I paused the main view when I popped up the view of the GoPro and then resumed it when I switched back. While in rack 2, I allowed the main view to just keep on playing when I popped up the view of the GoPro so that way I can just seamlessly switch back to the main view. Personally, I happen to like the second one because of how seamless it is to watch. But let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you saw, then give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Take care, everybody.